All right, here we go. I'm calling meeting to order. Zach, would you do a roll call for us?
Dr. Bombard,
I'm here.
Dr. Broderick,
He's excused.
Dr. Daly.
Here.
Dr. Durso. Durso was on earlier. I saw him in the people. I can't see him now on my screen.
Let me text him to be sure.
Dr. Furran. Dr. George,
Present.
Dr. Gerling. Dr. Katz. Dr. Laporte,
Present.
Dr. Mulvaney. Dr. Pond,
Here.
Dr. Williams,
I am here.
Patty Bashaw,
Here.
and Tammy Tromley.
I'm here.
Have a quorum?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You have a quorum of docs, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I have 12. So yeah.
yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. There goes that little source of chest pain. I just sent Molly and Laura and Mike, well, I'm trying to send them a text message. See how well that works out. Okay. Hopefully everybody, I got all the old minutes. They're on the Google Drive.
Sorry, not to interrupt. It's Mike Durso. I'm here. I just
Yay.
immediately had logistical issues trying to log on.
Thanks, Mike.
And this is Molly. I'm here too.
Yay, awesome. Very good. So hopefully everybody got the minutes, they're on the Google Drive. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes from May?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Who was seconding? Was that Tom?
Tom.
And Mike Pond was making the motion. All in favor? All right, any opposed? Okay, there's no CMAC or SEMSCO report. I didn't see anybody from DOH, but is there somebody from DOH while I wasn't seeing?
Ed had told me he was gonna be on, but might not be.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah. Yes, good afternoon, Ed Major, and I believe Alex Kazar, we're both on.
Ed? Do a DOH report for us?
Obviously the state meetings are coming up in September. A lot of activity with the new regulations pertaining to education as we develop policy statements. The activity for state council is going through the EDCC process at this point. And there's a bunch of trauma surveys that are scheduled from the trauma side. Our surveillance and investigations branch continues to do full service agency inspections. So we're doing our best to get back onto a target of 2 years for full service agency verifications and inspections. And I would say that from the licensure side, we're updating our portals. The licensure team, as you know, has sort of, we've got EMS surveillance and investigations, and we've got a licensure component that is taking over the agency renewals and CON activities and all that kind of stuff. So there's some process updates that are coming to our portals to hopefully streamline things and to better communicate CON activities and other things like that with the regional councils, REMACs, et cetera. But barring any questions, and Alex, if you had anything, feel free.
I think you covered it pretty well, Ed. Thank you very much.
All right, any questions for Ed? All right, let's do some new business. We have some protocol updates. Hopefully you've all had an opportunity to review the new protocols. They've been in effect since July 1st. There are some regional approval protocols, i.e. they're in the collaborative protocols. They've been vetted by the CMAC and the med standards and all of that. However, they need regional approval to go live. So we need to know whether we want to approve the musculoskeletal trauma protocol, pain management fever protocol, pulmonary edema protocol. I think these are all pretty reasonable. I don't know about you guys, but the musculoskeletal protocol is about antibiotics, early antibiotics for open fractures. So it's Moxie, if it's a BLS or I think AEMT, is that right? And
Yes.
cefazolin paramedics. So paramedics, cefazolin, everybody else Moxie, for open fracture in the field. Discussion?
Any idea why Moxie? I mean, we generally just use Ancef. I was just wondering why the choice of antibiotics.
Because you can give it PO.
All right.
They wanted a PO option, especially if ALS wasn't available. And so that's why they chose Moxie. But ideally, if you have a paramedic, they can give Ancef like we would.
Is there a reason for the push? I mean, is it that critical to get it in 20 minutes before we would otherwise?
I think when you have an hour response time to the patient and then extrication and then the, travel time to the hospital, it makes a difference.
So
I think when you have a 10-minute response time to the patient and not much extrication and 10 minutes to the hospital, it makes no difference. But
the protocol states specifically for prolonged extrication or transport.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I got, in principle, no concerns with it.
I mean, I share Tom's reservations about quinolones because I think they're going to be the death of us all, and they've already been overused. But yeah, I think we just need to educate that it truly needs to be reserved. Even an hour doesn't seem like that big a deal to me. If a wound's horribly contaminated, giving any antibiotics isn't going to change the need for debridement or ultimate outcome. I think this is, in some sense, a solution looking for a problem as opposed to something that we're actually seeing. But
would it help if, Zach, would you have a chance to just pull that protocol up for them? Just so that, I know you guys have seen it before, but you might want to just eyeball it and maybe reassuring.
Do we have them in the drive?
I have it on my desktop. You.
Yeah, what if you join them, share the screen,
Okay, hold on.
just mute your.
It's www.health.ny.gov.
I don't have that.
I can probably log on and put it on, but. Yep. See, I knew you could speedily do this.
Collaborative.
Yep.
And then it's musculoskeletal trauma. Scroll down. You can just click on it. Keep going, it's under trauma. At least I thought it was mine. What? Oh, wait, scroll down. Right there.
There we go.
Open fracture with delayed extrication or arrival to definitive care.
What's the above fracture? It has a superscript 2. Does that refer to anything at the bottom? Is there a caveat?
Consider open wound. Consider any open wound near the suspect bone injury site.
Okay. Thanks.
So not super aggressive. And certainly, I think if you want to educate your providers, hey, this is when I want it and this is when I don't, that's totally appropriate.
we will have education for both of these medications on the learning management system as well.
Is there any background on the research into pre-hospital antibiotics? Like, is there a time frame we should be considering? Like, like Ben said, I don't think an hour makes much of a difference, or certainly 20 minutes doesn't. Was there any discussion when these protocols were created about what time frame they're considering?
There was plenty of discussion. There was not a strict conclusion. So how about that for a non-answer?
Honestly, every study I haven't looked at in the past year or two, but every study that I've reviewed on this topic has been, unless it's like for, confined space rescue, 12, 14 hours, disaster modes, the evidence is very poor on normal front country EMS that this has any impact. I'm actually a little surprised that they put it in, but at the same time, it doesn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it necessarily either.
Well, even for sepsis, I mean, somebody shows up, they get antibiotics 2-3 hours after they show up to the ER, there's no difference. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing prophylactically with this? I don't know. Again, I'm not super opposed to this. It just, I think what Ben said earlier was appropriate. It's an answer looking for a question. So, whatever. I mean, it's there. I mean, I'm not going to fight it now. So.
And
I
if it's not,
Sorry, I was going to say I haven't looked at the research in a while, but when Pennsylvania put it in their protocols, I feel like the research was less than an hour, showed some benefit, but again, I haven't looked at that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I don't think we're going to litigate the benefits here. I mean, we're either going to adopt it or not, but it's just interesting to kind of consider, just why we're doing this. But in the end, I mean, it's a protocol that's in place, and I guess I don't have much of a reason not to. The super fluoroquinolones I'm not super excited about in general, so I would prefer not to do that. But ANSEF, it's fine.
Molly, was that for a sepsis guideline or for open fracture?
No, it was open fracture.
Would it be worth, if we approve this, to make it one of our QA/QI things we kind of sort of track?
That's a great idea.
I don't think it'll be a ton, but.
Yeah, we're not going to see a lot of cases, hopefully.
Right.
and even if it is
But I think that's a
approved,
great
it's
idea.
optional. They don't have to carry it if they don't want to.
Yeah. I think people will probably carry it. It's not a cost, but I think including that in QA/QI is great. So we'll have some idea, how often are we doing this? Should we be doing it? We can always come back. So, all right. So I think maybe we should do these as separate motions. I was thinking maybe we would do these all as one, but maybe it's smarter and more fair to do them separately. So could I have a motion to, actually, I can just make a motion to approve the trauma musculoskeletal protocol. I have a second.
I'll second.
On favor?
Yeah, aye.
In favor?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
That was 4 in favors. Any opposed? Any abstainers? All right, let's try this again because we can't have 4 in favor and no opposed and no abstainers. That doesn't work out well. Zach, is there a better way to count votes than this? There we go. Can everybody raise their hand that they're in favor?
Sure.
I'll make it much easier.
I don't know where the hand raising thingy is, but I'm in favor. I think this is a difficult way to do it. Where are we?
We can see your hand if you want to.
Yep.
Hey, you found it. Nice job. Okay, let's vote this way from now on. This is much better.
Yep.
So everybody is in favor, it looks like.
Yes.
Yep.
All in
Okay.
favor. Sorry, I'll leave that stuff to you.
So, I just won't have the agenda up at the same time, but yes, and now.
That's all right, we can fit that. Oh, motion passes. Pain management. There's an IV Tylenol option for pain management. If it would be trained, I'm sorry,
Paramedical only.
okay, thank you, yeah. So paramedic only, IV Tylenol option, if equipped and trained. Let's do this properly, I suppose. I'll make a motion to approve. We can have a second and then we'll discuss. Like there's so, no, that wasn't you seconding, that was you voting. Can we have somebody second for me?
I'll second it.
I can second, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, discussion. You want to pull that protocol up, Zach, for them? Hit Control F and
And what was it, pain?
Management.
That'll work, too. Yep, there we go. So most of this is well laid ground. We've had acetaminophen, ibuprofen, PO for quite a while, a couple of years, I think. And now this is just an IV acetaminophen option. Any
Just-
discussion or you want to just vote?
Was it just for adults? Just to clarify.
I do believe there is a pediatric. A second.
There's Pete's down to 2 years maybe, but let's double check this.
Yeah, that was a big,
Pain management, it's 12.5 milligrams per kilogram IV over 15 minutes for paramedic only.
Does it have a base age?
It does not.
Okay.
I know we've, Vermont, while it was in the guideline that we did go heavily back and forth, actually across the whole state, while it might be in the state guideline, almost every district restricted it in pediatrics, I believe, to the paramedical level so that it fits. Just, we had some concerning rate potential overdoses with kids and just not being mindful of weight-based dosing. This was a while ago, but just throwing out there that that was a big discussion about that. So, but it sounds like it's at the paramedic level.
For fever, it is a med control consideration. It's standing order for pain management. For fever, it's med control.
Interesting that they differentiated that.
Tom Williams, did you have a question? Your hand's up, so I didn't know. That's looking.
I am voting yes.
Okay. Holly, did you have something?
Also just voting yes.
Okay, okay, all in favor. I like your efficiency today, guys. Good. Fred, are you voting?
I voted yes, I think.
That works. Right. And then Zach, if you would pull up the pulmonary edema protocol. So this is a pulmonary edema protocol, IV nitrates, if equipped and trained for paramedics only. This is an interesting protocol. If you haven't looked at this in a while, there've been some updates as far as how much nitro to give. It's pretty aggressive. I'll give you a chance to take a look through.
I think Remo down in Capital District has been doing IV nitro drips for this. So they
Yeah,
were even,
they started it at the beginning of COVID when they just didn't want to be monkeying around inside people's like slimy COVID mouths. And so it was a pilot project down there, and it has made its way to the protocol just recently.
it was actually going on a little bit before that. It was while I was still doing my fellowship down there. So they started it. So we've been doing it for last 5-6 years.
You happy with it or no? I know you're not there all the time now, but
Yes.
No, I think they've had great success. You know, there's, apart from the hypotension, very little downside, and it's, you know, obviously rapid acting. So, you know, I don't think they have had, well, I don't know over the last few years, but initially they didn't have any bad outcomes. So I don't know what their outcomes have been recently, but yeah, they'd have good results.
obviously there's a lot of power from that region that goes into the making these protocols, so. Sure, they would have said so if they're having problems. Okay. Any further discussion?
0.1 milligrams IVs. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out the titration, to be honest with you.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a
Dose. And so if you just translate it into 0.1 milligrams IV, and then it's 1 dose, 2 doses, or 3 doses based on both.
so are they giving a bolus IV?
Yes. This is not an IV drip.
Got it. Oh, okay, don't. Okay.
Remember, we don't have IV pumps mandatory over here, unlike you smart people over in Vermont. It's always been, there's been a concern about it being an unfunded mandate, et cetera, et cetera. So we've never made that move. I really wish we would. But it confines us a little bit, right? Like nobody wants to do a nitroglycerin off a pump. I mean, push dose fine, but you're certainly not gonna do, you know, an IV drip and count drops or use a stupid dial flow, which doesn't work. So.
Yeah, and there's been recent talk about should we actually be doing a bolus for these? Like, I mean, somebody got a little is excited about this, and that's cool because we've been talking about whether or not we should be doing boluses anyway, and that's just pretty new age. That's cool. All right.
All right, all in favor?
That looks like everybody's good.
Yep. Okay.
With that said, we do need someone, if they'd be interested in creating some educational content on that for the learning management system. That's the one spot that we've kind of struggled to find with the new protocols, anybody who would want to do that. So if you're interested, let us know.
IV Tylenol and IV nitro.
Yep.
Lacking educational.
Anybody
Yeah.
interested in some learning management education? It's easy peasy.
Let me reach out to Albany Med and see what education they put out.
Fantastic. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.
And do we want to reach out to whoever made this guideline? I have no idea what these. Oh, is okay. I'm just trying to figure out the little superscripts.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Of the little key.
Okay, I got it now. I can't see the rest. That's why. All right. I've had 4 pretty hard overnights. I apologize.
Here we go. Believe me. Doug and I are overnight colleagues, so we get a little slappy about this time of day. If not sooner. Okay, cool. So, we will, I don't think we need to vote on this. Do we add them to the minimum equipment list? Yes, of course we do. Okay, done.
I can live with that.
Good. Moving on. program agency report. We're gonna just try and confine this only to the stuff that's pertinent to
Yep.
you guys. We'll try and keep the Remsco stuff out.
Sorry, there was one more. There's a few things on the minimum quit list that need to be removed from the advanced EMT level.
That's okay, just remove them.
So program agency report, it was, Zach, can you pull up so I can see who we're talking to? Thanks. It was in the drive. I'm not gonna bore you with all the minutia detail that's in there. Things that are coming up, we're working on planning, education day that's gonna be in Saranac Lake at, North Country Community College. It'll be November 16th. We actually have one of our helicopter companies from the North Country side, Mercy Flight,
Great.
is gonna be one of the sponsors, and they're gonna provide some of the educational content for that day. So we'll have more information as that comes out. We'll share it with your agencies and we'll send it to you guys as well.
Are you looking for speakers? Dr. Laporte might be
That's
interested.
all her.
Yeah, so.
Specifically shock and resuscitation.
Alright.
And then the next is, I just want to thank the docs, that we've had to contact with the CQI initiative that we've been doing. As you know, we read through X amount of charts monthly. Any of the issues that we've found in charts, we've been able to send to the docs and we get fantastic feedback from all of you. And we actually are seeing a difference in those providers' charts. So thank you for that. One of the topics at EMS Education Day is going to be documentation, and we have the state coming to do that because we find some scary stuff. Other than that, I don't have anything else that is doc specific. If you guys have any educational content ideas, please reach out. If you want to do anything with us, other than that, thanks.
2-year agency ALS operating authority renewals. Might be,
Maybe the spreadsheet that has the
Yes.
list of submitted items.
yeah. Looks like most of them are complete. I was hoping to vote on these as a block.
So, E-Town, we've been in contact with, they're sending all of their stuff in. So we're working with them on that. And then the other was,
Stable Fort.
yes, and they requested an extension.
So just, yeah, those two would be 3-month extensions, everything else. While Johnsburg and Lamoille were complete. Schroon Lake was missing their DOH policies, but they had to have had them to submit to DOH to get their renewal. And then same Keysville, had submitted for their CLIA and they were just waiting to get their certificate back for the glucometry stuff. But I don't think we should not renew their ALS for those two things. So
Okay.
I guess 3-month extensions for the first two and then 2 years for the other 4.
Dr. George, do you still have Keysville or does Dr. Daly have them?
On paper, I do, and Maddie and I work on everybody together.
Super. All right, any concerns from physicians about these? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve as submitted. So 3-month extensions for Ausable and Elizabethtown and everybody else approved for 2 years. Any seconds?
I'll second that.
Great.
Curly.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does that bring us all?
I think that's everybody. Tom, you still there?
Yeah, I thought I raised my hand again. Maybe I didn't. Sorry. Aye.
Oh, we got you now. Okay. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. QAQI. Know if we have someone from outside today or no. I'll throw them out there. Answer up if you're here. How's that? Because I can't see the whole screen. QA/QI from LSI. No, Clinton, I didn't see Storm. ECH. Wow, we're racking right up today.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here, yay, that's right. Laura, tell us the way down there at ECH.
Things are trucking along, no major issues. Yeah, not much to report.
Are you guys doing the IV fluid and trauma patients mini study with the rest of us or no? Or would you if you could?
I don't think we are, but we would if we could.
Okay, let's do that. Amanda, would you think about maybe just drafting a little mini study criteria for people? And we've talked about, do we want to study IV fluid? We've all said, yes, we do. And then I don't think we made like a little algorithm or chart or something so that people have structure to fill in. We don't want a lot, but just a little bit.
We can do that.
Great,
And we can pull a lot of that too from their PCRs.
perfect. But it was something that we wanted the QA/QI committees to both discuss and take a look at. So we had some idea where we stand. Are we giving a full 2 liters of fluid in trauma? We probably shouldn't be. If we are, when are we? Those sorts of things. Or are we sort of minimizing and sticking right strictly within the protocol, which is hopefully what we're doing, but we don't know. Okay, perfect. Glens Falls. Guys,
Yeah, not much over the summer. Volumes are pretty high, so not much in the way of QI.
fair enough. North Country,
Yeah, we continue to meet bi-monthly, no major issues.
Troy Lakes, Dr. Laporte. I think you're starting to try and get that fired up, I was hearing. I don't think you're quite up on board yet, right?
Not quite.
But we're excited to have that program back, so keep fighting the fight for us. Good. Gonna be good for your agencies. Okay. Aeronautical reports. I didn't see anybody from LifeNet today. Doug, do you want to talk about UVM? Is there anything new for us to know that would be helpful? Or are things flying along?
I have nothing major from my end. If Danielle or anyone else that's still on from HealthNet has anything they'd like to say, obviously feel free.
Good afternoon, it's Leslie. I don't have anything specific.
Education course sponsor reports. Clinton, Storm's not here. ECH, I can do. So exciting changes are afoot. We are looking to do an annual intake of students. So this is new for us. In the past, we've been an every 18-month matriculation. And starting in January, we're going to be a 12-month matriculation. The program is still going to be 18 months, but we'll have that 6-month overlap. So it's going to be really exciting because, students have had to wait for so long if they miss the current class. And now they're only going to have to wait for 1 year. So that's really, really cool. We're looking at doing some more flex classroom options next year. That hasn't completely been approved, but it's in the consideration process. So we may have more video, less in the classroom time, but still, a fixed number, at least 2 days a month in the classroom for hands-on skills, practical, et cetera, et cetera. But stay tuned. None of that is finalized. There is a finalized decision to move a class day from Friday to Thursday, though. So that may be coming down the pipe, just so you know, which may be better for everybody. So that's exciting. The class right now is finished most of their medical portion and their ACLS. They're moving into trauma. So kind of exciting stuff. You'll see them on all your ERs. And you have been for the last probably month and a half, almost 2 months now. So students are out and about. North Country Community College, I didn't see.
Wait. Do you want to talk about The, was coams?
Oh, sure, yeah. So thanks, Patty. COAMS was here to do an accreditation visit. We're being considered to be an accredited program. We've been in that process for 3 years now, something like that, maybe longer. So we're holding our breath. The visit went pretty well, and we're expecting accreditation, hopefully. But it's not finalized.
Thanks.
Yeah. North Country.
Tiffany, I have the stuff for North Country. So my EMT class in Thai wraps up in 2 weeks. That's going to be 11 new EMTs. Patty is doing an AEMT course finally after she was talked into it. So that should help as well with some AEMT providers. I think that one's about to fill or is full. We have an EMT class in Malone and Saranac Lake this fall that will be beginning shortly, as well as a spring EMT in Ticonderoga starting in January.
I see Mountain Lakes here. Have we resuscitated that training site?
I think I forgot to get taken off.
All right, and Queensbury. I'm like, it's Lazarus. That's awesome, but I didn't know that. Okay. Old business, annual conflict of interest for 24-25. I'm assuming you're getting an email if you haven't signed that. Okay.
Yep.
And just what you always wanted to talk about, the regional transport guidelines. So we've done a lot of work on this since our last meeting. Oh goodness. We have had several action group meetings. We have drafted education and it's starting to get put up on the LMS. So that's all ready to go. There's probably, I don't know, there's quite a few modules that are already uploaded. There's a few left to get put up, but the education portion of the show is done. And that's where we stand. So I don't know if we need a vote at this point on this. I don't feel like we do. I feel like we just need an update unless other people have a different thought.
So I might have unfortunately missed the last meeting in May. And subsequently, I think I heard there was an IFT subcommittee that occurred. Is this in reference to that?
Yes. So you can find on the Google Drive, we can pull them up, although there's like 16 of them. So they're IFT protocols. The original idea was that it was going to be for Malone area. But then when I ran them by this body for that, you don't actually need REMAC approval for this. It turns out, but I presented to them to this body, and after much discussion, the consensus was that we wanted these to be regional protocols, not just localized to that area or my agencies. And so we made a subcommittee, and that subcommittee met several times since the last meeting and drafted education for the protocols. And they'll be available and are available to the region. Obviously, each medical director needs to approve the protocols that they want for their agency. They don't need to approve all of them or any of them. But they're available to everyone, and there's education for each protocol in the learning management system, or there will be. It's all in process, but it's already starting to go live. And there will be CME credit and quizzes that go with each module, so it'll all be easy to track. That's where we stand.
We also added into it that these are require your individual medical director's approval for each of these training. And there is a disclaimer that is in the training stating that just because you're approved at one agency with, I'll use Dr. Williams as an example, and you run at another agency that Dr. Bombard is your medical director, if Dr. Williams has approved you to do it, that doesn't mean that Dr. Bombard has done it. It has to come from the specific agency medical director.
Those are all available on Google Drive. questions or discussion about those?
Dr. Bombard is Dakota. So obviously I've been working on the app stuff. Should we be making sure that there's a disclaimer on the app version of this too? Because I'm
That would-
just pulled it up and there's not.
That would be fantastic, Dakota. Thank you.
Okay.
Dakota's getting them up on both the Moo app and on the collaborative app for us. Pretty great. So they'll be available easily on everybody's phone.
Question moving forward as we continue to update our HealthNet / EMT CPH IFT guidelines that we had gone over every month or every quarter last year. Should we bring those to this group to get approved as we do updates, or will we bring this to an IFT subcommittee? And could I also be placed on the IFT subcommittee?
You can be placed on the IFT subcommittee, although I don't know that we're using it for anything. I think the IFT subcommittee has kind of done its job already.
But I don't think they would need to come to
So
this
you
body.
can certainly, we would love it if you would bring those to this body as you have in the past, just so we have some idea of what's going on with you and whether we want to, steal some of it, honestly. But you do not, it turns out, need our approval to have them. But we would love to see them. And if we if we have an IFT subcommittee in the future for some reason, you are more than welcome. We'd love to have you. Any other discussion? Michael, you have your hand up. I don't know if you mean to or not. Your little virtual hand. Nope, just kidding. Okay. Anything else anybody needs to discuss or any new business? Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second. No one wants to leave?
Second. Seconded.
Seconds. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks all.